My beloved child, something is shifting in the unseen realm, and Archangel Michael has been instructed to bring you this message with urgency. The heavens are stirring, the atmosphere has changed, and a spiritual countdown has begun. He says, on December 13th, there will be massive changes in your life, and in this Christmas month, nothing will remain the same. These words are not random. They are not casual. They are a divine alarm meant for the one whose spirit has been crying out for direction, protection, and clarity. And you already know this message found you at the exact moment you needed it. Tonight, Archangel Michael stands at the gate of your life holding a sword of light, separating what has been draining you from what is about to deliver you. He whispers, "You have carried too much for too long. You have walked through battles nobody saw. But on December 13th, your chapter will shift faster than your fears can respond. Something in you already senses this change. Something is awakening. Something is being prepared. This is why the message comes with weight. God says, if you ignore this, I will never help you. Not because God is abandoning you, but because this moment is a divine appointment. Missing it would break the alignment He has been building for months. This is the window. This is the hour. This is the call your soul has been waiting to hear. Archangel Michael reveals that a spiritual correction is coming upon your path. Every wrong door that has blocked your progress is about to shut, and every right door that fear kept you from entering is about to open with force. December 13th is not just a date. It is a shift in the timeline of your destiny. He shows me a calendar drenched in golden light, marked not by numbers but by breakthroughs, and your name is written on it. You may have felt unexplainable heaviness lately, sudden tiredness, strange emotions, unexpected tension. These are signs that old cycles are dying. The enemy has been trying to distract you, exhaust you, and confuse you right before the blessing releases. Archangel Michael says, the greater the pressure, the closer the transformation. Something powerful has been assigned to you, and darkness has been trying to interrupt it, but it cannot win. He also shows me that in this Christmas month, relationships will reveal their true intentions. Hidden motives, silent enemies, and secret supporters will suddenly come to the surface. People who once drained you will distance themselves. People who are meant to lift you will appear unexpectedly. December will not hide truth. It will expose it with divine light. As this shift approaches, Archangel Michael stands beside you with the authority to remove spiritual obstacles. He says, I am clearing the path. What once resisted you will now bow. Every delay, every disappointment, every unanswered question, it was not a denial. It was preparation. And on December 13th, the preparation becomes manifestation. But hear this clearly, the message is not only a blessing, it is a warning. Heaven rarely speaks this directly, but today the tone is firm. If you ignore this, I will never help you. What does this mean? It means this alignment requires your awareness, your obedience, your readiness. God is saying, I am giving you a moment that must be recognized, a door that must be honored. When heaven calls, silence is disobedience. When heaven warns, delay is dangerous. This is why Archangel Michael is leaning close to you right now. He wants you to be awake to what is coming. He wants you to be prepared emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. He wants you to step into this shift with courage, not confusion. And He wants you to understand that once the changes begin, they will not stop. The momentum will be unstoppable. Your finances, your relationships, your inner peace, your opportunities, all of them will feel the impact of this divine realignment. Expect sudden messages, unexpected offers, emotional releases, and supernatural protection. Expect clarity so sharp it cuts through every lie you once believed about yourself. Expect blessings that arrive wrapped in divine timing, not human logic. Before this part ends, Archangel Michael gives one final whisper for now. Hold your heart steady, because the next revelation will unfold the true purpose of December 13th. And what comes after will shock you. Before you scroll, pause, because the next words you hear will unlock the deeper meaning behind this prophecy, and you do not want to miss what is being prepared for your spirit. Type "I open my spirit" in the comments if this message is touching your soul. Blessing code 441 is released over your life. My dear chosen soul, as the veil thins and the hour draws closer, Archangel Michael steps forward again with a revelation that reaches deeper than you expect. He wants you to understand that what is coming on December 13th is not just an event, not just a moment, but a divine rerouting of everything that has been misaligned in your life. This is why your spirit hath been restless. This is why your heart feels like something is shifting in the unseen. You have been sensing a pull, an invisible force preparing you for a chapter that has been waiting to unlock for far too long. Heaven has observed the silent cries you never told anyone about, the wounds you hid behind your smile, and the strength you forced yourself to carry even on the days when you felt like collapsing. And now, the divine counsel has spoken. Your season of carrying burdens alone is ending. Archangel Michael reveals that on December 13th, a spiritual correction will happen around you. The atmosphere will feel different. The air around your home will feel lighter. A heaviness that followed you for months will suddenly lift, almost like someone removed a weight from your shoulders without touching you. There are certain battles that have chased you for years, but they do not have permission to cross into this next season. God has marked this date with unusual favor, and Michael stands ready with a sword glowing like fire, prepared to cut away every chain the enemy used to restrict your movement. He is not just visiting you, he is guarding you. He is not just speaking to you, he is preparing the path before you. There is something very important heaven needs you to understand today. For the last few months, you have been walking through a spiritual fog. You questioned yourself. You doubted your intuition. You lost track of your confidence, and you wondered why everything seemed delayed. But Michael says this fog was not failure, it was divine protection. God hid certain things from you because if you had seen them too early, you would have run into the wrong doors, trusted the wrong people, and stepped into traps that were designed to sabotage your future. But now the fog is lifting. The path ahead is becoming clearer. The voice of God is becoming louder. And the purpose of December 13th is becoming undeniable. This is why the warning was so strong in the title. God does not speak with such intensity unless something monumental is at stake. When he said, "If you ignore this, I will never help you," he was not speaking out of anger. He was speaking out of urgency. He was saying, "Do not sleep through the moment I have prepared for you. Do not overlook the guidance I am sending you. Do not underestimate the importance of this shift. Heaven is not threatening you. Heaven is waking you up. You are being positioned for restoration, but restoration requires awareness. You are being positioned for elevation, but elevation requires obedience. You are being positioned for breakthrough, but breakthrough requires readiness. Archangel Michael shows me that in the days leading up to December 13th, you may feel unusual emotions. You might suddenly feel the need to clean your environment, distance yourself from certain people, or release memories that used to hold emotional power over you. This is not random. This is the spiritual cleansing that occurs before a divine transition. Heaven clears old energy before new blessings arrive. Michael says the spiritual realm is already rearranging circumstances around you. Conversations are being orchestrated. Opportunities are being redirected. People who mistreated you are losing their access. People who are meant to bless you are being guided toward your path. Nothing is happening by accident. Everything is happening by design. And in this Christmas month, a month symbolizing hope and divine birth, something new will begin within you. It will feel like the rebirth of your spirit. You will notice your intuition strengthening, your dreams becoming clearer, and your sense of purpose returning. Things that used to break you emotionally will no longer have the same power. You will feel stronger without trying. You will feel protected without questioning. You will feel guided without begging for signs. This is the work of Archangel Michael, restoring what life tried to drain from you. He whispers again, "Prepare your spirit, because the change that is coming will not be small. It will be sudden, sharp, and undeniable." He shows me a vision of a door made of radiant gold, one that has been locked for years, now beginning to open. You have prayed for this moment without realizing how close it was. The blessing has been waiting for your readiness, and heaven has declared that the time is now. Before this message pauses, Michael asks you to stay attentive, because the next revelation will uncover why certain people have been acting strangely around you lately. He says their behavior is connected to the shift coming on December 13th, and the truth behind their actions will shock you more than the change itself. Do not move away from this message yet. What is coming next may finally answer questions you have been holding in silence for years. Trust me, the next part unlocks a deeper layer of this prophecy, and you will want to hear every word before the shift arrives. Type "I receive this prophecy" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 559 is released over your life. Beloved soul of light, as the heavens continue to unfold this message before you, Archangel Michael is urging you to lean in even closer. The next revelation is not simply information. It is exposure. It is clarity. It is the divine unveiling of what has been happening behind the scenes of your life. For months, perhaps even years, your spirit has felt unsettled around certain people. You sensed shifts you could not explain, subtle distances, strange tensions, sudden coldness, or unexplained guilt in the atmosphere. Michael now confirms that these were not coincidences. These were spiritual signals. These were warnings that your destiny was outgrowing the intentions of certain individuals around you. Archangel Michael shows me a vivid vision of you standing in a room filled with shadows. Some shadows are shaped like people you know. Some are shaped like memories you have refused to release. And some are shaped like fears that were never meant to follow you into this new season. He says that December 13th will not just bring change, it will bring revelation. People who have been pretending will reveal themselves. People who have been silent observers of your pain will suddenly speak. People who have been draining your energy will lose access to you without confrontation or explanation. Heaven itself is rearranging the connections in your life because where you are going, not everyone can follow. Michael's voice grows firmer as he explains that the shift on December 13th is designed to protect you from misplaced loyalty. You have given too much of your heart to people who did not know how to hold it. You have trusted voices that were never meant to guide you. You have poured into relationships that only took from you and offered little in return. The divine realm is stepping in, creating distance where your strength was being depleted. God is saying, no more. You will no longer carry people who refuse to carry themselves. You will no longer beg for respect where it was never intended to grow. You will no longer invest your emotional energy into people who only respond to your presence when they need your light. This is why the spiritual tension around you has been increasing. When a major breakthrough is approaching, the wrong people grow uncomfortable. They sense your elevation before you do. They feel your transformation even when you cannot see it yet. They become inconsistent, irritated, or strangely distant because your spirit is rising while theirs remains stagnant. But Michael says this distance is divine. It is protection. It is heaven clearing the path around you so that no hidden enemy can follow you through the door that God is opening on December 13th. Archangel Michael also reveals that during this Christmas month, old chapters will finally close, chapters you thought would linger forever. Pain you believed would haunt you is being dissolved. Emotional knots inside your spirit are being untied. He says, your heart hath been heavy for far too long, and heaven refuses to allow you to carry that weight into the new year. December is the month where emotional clarity meets divine reset. Some relationships will heal in surprising ways. Others will dissolve quietly and without conflict. But every shift will be intentional, guided, and orchestrated by the hand of God. The angelic realm is also showing me that your name is being spoken in places you do not yet know about. Opportunities are being prepared behind closed doors. Conversations are happening that will benefit you. People you have never met will be drawn toward your energy, your gifts, your purpose. Michael says, what they took from you will be restored. What they denied you will be returned. What they misunderstood will be corrected. This is not revenge. This is divine justice. Heaven is balancing the scales in your favor. But the most striking part of this revelation is what Michael says next. What is coming to you is bigger than what left you. Sometimes God removes people because they were blocking blessings you could not see. Sometimes He shifts your environment because your spirit cannot expand in the same space where it was once wounded. And sometimes He removes your comfort because you are meant to stand in a place you have never stood before. December 13th is the threshold between who you were forced to become and who you were created to be. Before this message pauses for the next revelation, Michael urges you to steady your heart. The next insight will explain why your spirit had been sensing urgency, restlessness, and expectation at the same time. He says what is coming will bring both closure and awakening. You will want to hear every word because the next message will reveal the divine assignment God is placing upon your life in this season. Hold on. You are standing at the edge of something extraordinary, and the next words may shift the way you see your entire journey. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments if you feel this message speaking directly to you. Blessing Code 802 is now released over your path. Before we continue, take a brief moment to support this mission. If this message is blessing you, like this video, comment to keep the algorithm open for others, share it to spread the word, and subscribe so you never miss a divine release. Now, hear the support message flowing straight from the spirit of this revelation. Just as Archangel Michael is preparing your path for December 13th, this mission is preparing countless souls to step into their God-ordained breakthroughs. Every time you sow into this work through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are helping carry the light into places where darkness once reigned. The scriptures declare that those who sow into divine soil reap a harvest without limits, and today that word is living, breathing, and active over your life. I say to you now, as the messenger delivering this prophetic call, your seed becomes a weapon, a shield, and a key for someone else's awakening. The very theme of today's message, massive change and divine intervention, flows through every act of support you release. This is not charity. This is obedience. And those who obey in moments of divine urgency never miss their appointed blessing. Step into the flow God has opened for you. Release your support now and walk under an open heaven. Precious one, as this divine unveiling continues, Archangel Michael steps closer with a message that carries an even deeper spiritual vibration. He wants you to understand that what is coming on December 30th is not only a shift around you, but also a shift within you. This next revelation is about your inner world, your spiritual authority, and the hidden strength God has been building beneath the surface of your struggles. You may not realize it yet, but every tear, every disappointment, every delay, and every moment you felt forgotten was actually shaping the very transformation that is about to unfold. Michael reveals that for too long, you have been living in a version of yourself that was shaped by survival rather than destiny. You learned how to endure pain before you learned how to expect blessing. You learned how to stay strong for others before you learned how to receive strength for yourself. You learned how to adjust to chaos instead of demanding peace. But heaven has decided that this pattern ends now. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer respond out of wounds, but out of wisdom. No longer out of fear, but out of authority. No longer out of survival, but out of purpose. He shows me a vision of your spirit standing tall, surrounded by angelic light, as if heaven is preparing you for a coronation you did not know was coming. There is a crown being polished with your name engraved on it, a crown representing identity, clarity, and spiritual maturity. Michael says, "You have no idea how powerful you truly are, because your pain has been louder than your calling. But on December 13th, your calling will speak louder than everything that once tried to silence you. This shift will not happen gently. It will be sudden. It will be unmistakable. You will feel it in your emotions, in your intuition, in your dreams, and in your atmosphere. You will begin to notice that the things that once triggered you no longer have the same effect. Conversations that used to drain you will suddenly feel irrelevant. Fears that once controlled your decisions will feel weak and distant. You will wake up one morning and realize something inside you has realigned. Your spirit has stepped into a higher dimension of awareness. Archangel Michael explains that this elevation is necessary because God is preparing you for a responsibility you did not expect but are fully capable of carrying. There is a divine assignment attached to your life, one that requires clarity, strength, and spiritual discernment. You have been trained through fire, refined through storms, and strengthened through heartbreak, not to destroy you, but to elevate you. Your experiences were not punishment, they were preparation. Heaven hath been watching you closely in this season. Every time you chose love over bitterness, God took notice. Every time you forgave when you could have retaliated, heaven wrote it down as obedience. Every time you carried yourself with integrity even when you were mistreated, your spiritual rank increased. This is why the coming shift is so massive. You have sown seeds in the spirit that you did not even realize were being recorded. December 13th is not a random date. It is the moment when those seeds finally break open. Michael further reveals that the spiritual realm has been unusually active around you lately. You may have felt sudden warmth around your shoulders, tingling in your hands, pressure on your chest, or moments of overwhelming peace that felt almost supernatural. These were signs of angelic presence. Archangel Michael has been positioning himself at your doorway, at your bedside, and at your workplace, not because you are in danger, but because you are stepping into a calling that draws heavenly attention. But there is another layer to this message. Heaven wants you to understand why the warning attached to this prophecy was so intense. When God said, "If you ignore this, I will never help you," it was not a threat. It was a declaration of how significant this shift truly is. December 30th is not something to dismiss. It is not something to treat casually. This is a divine appointment, a moment where your alignment must be intentional. If you ignore the guidance, you block the blessing. If you ignore the timing, you delay the breakthrough. God is telling you not to let fear, distraction, or disbelief make you miss what he has prepared for you. Archangel Michael says, "You are closer to transformation than you think. Do not step back now. Do not let doubt weaken your faith. Do not let exhaustion make you overlook the signs. You have been walking through a spiritual hallway for months, and December 13th is the door at the end of that hallway. Once you cross it, everything changes." As this message flows, Michael urges you to recognize the divine pressure you are feeling. That urgency inside you is not anxiety, it is spiritual acceleration. That restlessness is not confusion, it is heavenly preparation. That longing for something new is not escapism, it is the whisper of destiny calling you forward. You are being repositioned, and your spirit can already feel it happening. Before this part ends, Archangel Michael asks you to prepare your heart for something even more powerful. He says the next section will reveal the specific type of blessing that will enter your life after December 13th, and why heaven has chosen you for this level of transformation. Wait for it, because what comes next will touch a part of your spirit you may have forgotten existed. Hold steady now. The revelation deepens from here, and the next words may feel like they were written for you alone. Type "I rise in divine power" in the comments if this message resonates deeply with you. Blessing code 927 is activated over your life. Beloved, come closer now, for Archangel Michael is ready to reveal what has been hidden from your understanding. He says this next layer of the message is not just guidance, but a revelation of the blessings that will begin to unfold after December 13th. These blessings are not ordinary, not delayed, not halfway formed. They are complete, intentional, and divinely timed, and they are coming towards you with a momentum that cannot be slowed by fear, doubt, or opposition. Heaven has been preparing this release for longer than you realize, and now Michael declares, the fullness of what you were meant to receive is finally making its way to you. For months, your spirit has felt stretched, pulled, and shaken, as though life was trying to break something inside you. But Michael reveals that this stretching was not meant to harm you. It was meant to increase your capacity. He shows me an image of a vessel expanding, as though heaven was enlarging your ability to hold more than you have ever held before. He says, the blessing that is coming requires space. It requires maturity. It requires spiritual strength. And now you have finally become the version of yourself capable of carrying it. One of the first blessings you will experience after December 13th is what Michael calls the clearing of spiritual noise. For years, your mind has been cluttered with thoughts that did not belong to you, fears planted by past experiences, and doubts whispered by the enemy whenever you felt close to a breakthrough. But the moment this shift arrives, the noise will silence. Your mind will feel clearer than it has felt in years. You will think more boldly, choose more confidently, and recognize divine direction more easily. Heaven is restoring mental clarity so that you can hear God without interference. Michael reveals a second blessing: stability. Not temporary peace, not emotional highs, not moments of relief that disappear as quickly as they come. No, this time, the stability will be lasting. He says that many areas of your life have been shaky because you were standing on foundations that were never meant to support your destiny. Some relationships lacked honesty. Some opportunities lacked divine approval. Some environments lacked spiritual alignment. But now, as old foundations crumble, God is building new ones beneath your feet. Foundations you can trust. Foundations that cannot be shaken. Foundations that will support the blessing you are about to receive. The third blessing is acceleration. What once took months will happen in weeks. What once required years of waiting will begin unfolding in days. Heaven is removing the spiritual resistance that created delays, And Michael says the moment December 13th arrives, your timeline begins to move differently. It will feel as if your life had been pushed into fast forward. Doors that were once closed will open before you even knock. People who overlooked you will suddenly recognize your value. Opportunities that disappeared will resurface in better form. You will feel momentum building around you like a wind pushing you toward your purpose. Michael then shows me another powerful vision. A bright light surrounding your name, circulating through realms of the unseen. He explains that heaven has placed a mark of favor upon you, attracting divine opportunities, divinely assigned people, and unexpected breakthroughs. This is not luck. This is alignment. Blessings that were once withheld because you were not ready will now begin to find you. He says what belongs to you cannot be taken. What is written for you can't be erased. What heaven has ordained will find you no matter who tried to block it. Another blessing coming your way is emotional restoration. For too long, your heart has been carrying invisible wounds. You have been functioning while broken, smiling while hurting, helping others while feeling internally drained. But Michael declares that emotional healing is coming to you with force. You will feel lighter. You will feel freer. You will notice that the pain once lodged inside your chest suddenly doesn't sting the same way. You will find yourself releasing attachments, forgiving yourself, letting go of guilt, and letting your heart breathe again. Heaven is restoring you from the inside out. Michael also reveals that after December 13th, divine connections will begin entering your life. People who match your destiny, not your history. People who speak life, not confusion. People who bring clarity, not chaos. These connections will feel natural, comforting, and spiritually aligned. Some may appear unexpectedly. Some may already be in your life, but their purpose will become clearer. God is realigning your relationship so that the people who walk with you into your next chapter are meant to support, uplift, and strengthen your journey. Another blessing is divine protection. Michael's presence will increase around you, not because danger is coming, but because elevation attracts attention from both light and darkness. But he says, you have nothing to fear because the shield around you is impenetrable. Every trap will fail. Every attack will collapse. Every negative intention will boomerang away from you. The protection over your life is becoming stronger, sharper, and more immediate because the blessing you are stepping into requires divine security. But the most powerful blessing, Archangel Michael reveals his identity awakening. After December 13th, you will begin to see yourself the way heaven sees you. You will no longer shrink, doubt, or question your worth. You will walk with authority, speak with boldness, and choose with wisdom. You will recognize your spiritual gifts. You will understand your purpose. You will step into the identity that has been waiting for you all along. Before this message pauses, Archangel Michael gives you one final whisper. Prepare yourself, because the blessing coming to your life is larger than anything you have ever prayed for. And the next revelation will show you exactly why you were chosen for this divine transformation. Stay with this message. What unfolds next will open your eyes to something you may have never considered about your destiny. Type "I claim my blessing" in the comments if this message is awakening something inside you. Blessing code 1188 is now activated over your journey. Beloved bearer of divine purpose, come into this moment with full awareness, for Archangel Michael now reveals something profoundly personal about your destiny. He says this next layer is about understanding why you were chosen for this transformation, why this message found you, and why December 13th marks a spiritual turning point in your life. This is not coincidence, not chance, not a random alignment of events. This is divine orchestration. Your spirit has been marked by heaven for a purpose far greater than you have ever allowed yourself to imagine. Michael begins by showing me the spiritual blueprint of your life, a design written long before your birth, filled with assignments, gifts, seasons, and challenges that were meant to shape you into the vessel you are becoming. He says, you have endured battles not because you were weak, but because your spirit carries a strength uncommon to others. You were trusted with difficulty because heaven knew you would not collapse under pressure. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment that left you questioning your worth was actually sharpening you for a role that requires resilience and spiritual discernment. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was preparing you. He reveals that your journey has always been different because the calling on your life has always been different. While others walked straight paths, you walked upward climbs. While others received answers quickly, you were taught patience. While others recovered easily, you had to rebuild from the ground up. This was not unfairness. This was elevation training. Only those with extraordinary spiritual assignments are allowed to go through extraordinary spiritual refining. And now the time of refining is ending. The time of rising is beginning. Michael then shares that your heart carries a rare purity, one that feels deeply, forgives readily, and loves beyond logic. This purity have been both your greatest power and your greatest vulnerability. It drew people to you, but it also attracted those who tried to take advantage of your kindness. Yet even in pain, you did not let your heart turn cold. You did not let bitterness take root. You did not let darkness change your nature. Heaven saw every moment you loved courageously even when you were hurting. And because of this, God has entrusted you with a higher spiritual authority. He shows me an image of your spirit glowing, as if heaven is spotlighting you in this season. You were chosen, he says, because you carry the ability to shift atmospheres. Your presence brings clarity. Your silence brings conviction. Your faith brings movement in the unseen realm. You have an influence you have not yet recognized. You change environments simply by walking into them. People feel safer around you without knowing why. Strangers sense something different about you. This is because heaven has placed an anointing on your life that silently speaks before you even open your mouth. Michael reveals that the massive changes coming on December 13th are not simply blessings. They are awakenings. They are alignments meant to activate the dormant parts of your purpose. Gifts you did not know you had will begin to reveal themselves. You will notice stronger intuition, sudden insights, deeper emotional intelligence, and an ability to sense spiritual truth with accuracy. You may even begin to feel the presence of angels more intensely because your spiritual sensitivity is increasing. Heaven is preparing you to step into a role of influence, guidance, or leadership in some area of your life. This does not necessarily mean a public platform. Sometimes leadership happens quietly, in your family, in your community, in your conversations, in your energy. You were chosen to be a carrier of clarity, a vessel of divine light, a stabilizing presence for those who feel lost. People will begin coming to you for wisdom, comfort, and direction without you seeking them. They will sense that you carry something from heaven, and they will be drawn to it. But Michael explains that before this awakening fully unfolds, God needed you to release certain emotional weights, certain toxic connections, certain limiting beliefs, and certain memories that kept you tied to old versions of yourself. December 13th represents that release. It is the moment your spirit finally detaches from what no longer aligns with your destiny. It is the moment you stop apologizing for your calling. It is the moment you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. It is the moment heaven announces your transition. You were chosen not only because of your strength, but also because of your capacity to transform. You are not the person you were last year. You are not the person you were 5 months ago. You may not even be the person you were yesterday. Growth has been happening inside you quietly, invisibly, steadily. And now heaven is ready to reveal what it has been building. Michael then whispers something powerful. Your spirit has been waiting for this era. You are stepping into a season where everything begins to make sense. You will understand why the storms were allowed. You will see why the delays protected you. You will recognize why certain people could not stay. This clarity will not arrive slowly. It will arrive in a rush. It will feel as though the puzzle pieces of your life suddenly fall into place. Before this message closes for now, Michael gives you one last glimpse, a vision of you walking through a doorway made of radiant light. On the other side is peace, abundance, purpose, and divine alignment. He says, walk through it boldly, because everything you prayed for is waiting on the other side. Stay close to this message. The next revelation will uncover what heaven is releasing into your household and how your environment will transform alongside you. Type I accept my divine calling in the comments if your spirit feels this message deeply. Blessing code 3003 is activated over your life. Beloved soul chosen for transformation, Archangel Michael now brings a message that moves from your inner world to the environment surrounding you. He says that as the shift of December 13th approaches, not only will your spirit transform, but your household, your atmosphere, and even the physical spaces connected to your life will begin to reflect the divine changes unfolding within you. The spiritual realm does not elevate a person without adjusting the environment that person must operate in. Heaven is preparing everything around you so that nothing in your surroundings contradicts the blessing that is coming. Michael begins by showing me a vision of your home. The air feels heavy in some corners, as though it has absorbed years of emotional energy, stress, disappointment, unresolved conversations, silent pain, and unspoken prayers. He says that many of the battles you fought were not just internal but environmental. Sometimes the heaviness you felt at home was not because you were weak, but because the spiritual atmosphere around you was carrying burdens you never released. Heaven has observed how hard it was for you to rest, how difficult it was to feel peaceful, and how often your mind remained unsettled even in quiet moments. But now, Archangel Michael declares that your home is entering a cleansing season. This cleansing will not always look dramatic. Sometimes it will appear as a sudden urge to rearrange furniture, clean certain areas, open windows, or remove old items that carry emotional residue. You may feel the desire to release things connected to past relationships or memories tied to pain, confusion, or loss. Michael says this is not just spring cleaning, it is spiritual detox. Your home is being prepared for divine visitation. The angels who move with you in this season need an atmosphere that matches the frequency of the blessings you are about to receive. Heaven is not allowing any heaviness to remain, because the new energy entering your life requires a purified space. He then reveals that the shift happening in your environment also affects the people who have access to your home. Some individuals who once visited frequently may suddenly stop coming. Some may feel uncomfortable around you without understanding why. Others may distance themselves because your spiritual elevation will make their intentions visible, even if they try to hide them. Michael explains that when a person begins ascending spiritually, those who carry lower frequencies can no longer blend in. Your home will become a place of light, and not everyone can stand in that brightness. This is divine protection, not rejection. But there is more. Archangel Michael shows me the energy of peace descending on your home after December 13th. A peace that is not dependent on circumstances, not reliant on people, and not tied to external stability. This peace will feel like warm stillness, the the kind that settles deep in your chest and quiets your thoughts without effort. It will be the peace that Scripture describes as surpassing all understanding. Michael says you have longed for this level of tranquility. You have prayed for it quietly, hoping for a day when you could breathe without feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Heaven has heard you, and this peace is being delivered. He also reveals that your finances, your relationships, and your sense of purpose will shift the energy in your home. As blessings begin flowing into your life, the atmosphere around you will feel lighter, brighter, and more open. You will notice that your sleep improves. Dreams become clearer. Conversations feel more meaningful. Even the silence in your home will feel comforting rather than heavy. Heaven is rebuilding your atmosphere from the ground up. Michael then speaks of divine protection surrounding your household. He says your home will become a guarded place, a place where darkness cannot enter without being exposed, a place where the enemy cannot plant confusion or fear. The angelic presence around your home will increase so intensely that any negative intention, spoken or silent, will be blocked before it reaches you. This protection is not temporary. It is the new standard for your life. You will walk with the assurance that no weapon formed against you can prosper, not because danger does not exist, but because heaven refuses to let it touch you. He then shows me another revelation, the increase of spiritual sensitivity in your home. You will begin to sense when something is out of alignment. You will feel when energy shifts. You will discern who carries pure intentions and who does not. Your intuition will guide you with precision, helping you decide who enters your environment, who has access to your time, and who deserves a place in your next chapter. This sensitivity is not anxiety, it is spiritual intelligence. Heaven is sharpening your awareness, because the blessing coming to your life requires discernment. Michael also reveals that your home will become a place of divine creativity. Ideas will flow more freely. Solutions will appear quickly. Inspiration will come unexpectedly. You may feel drawn to start new projects, plan for your future, or reorganize your life in ways that bring clarity. This is because your home will no longer be a place of stagnation. It will become a place of movement, growth, and divine momentum. Finally, Michael presents the most powerful part of this revelation. Your home will become a spiritual sanctuary. Not in the traditional sense, but in the way heaven defines sanctuary. A place where your spirit is fed, your mind rests, your heart heals, and your purpose strengthens. God is preparing your environment to support the new version of you emerging through this transformation. You will feel the difference. Visitors will feel the difference. Even your pets, if you have any, will sense the change. Before this part concludes, Archangel Michael whispers, "Prepare the space where you dwell, because heaven is coming closer." And what is about to enter your home will bring a level of blessing you have never experienced before. The next revelation will explain the emotional shift that will unfold within you as these blessings arrive. Wait for it, beloved. The next words will touch the deepest parts of your heart. Type "My home is blessed" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 7227 is now activated over your home. Beloved, come into this moment with an open heart, because Archangel Michael now reveals one of the most intimate layers of this divine message. If the previous revelation spoke to your spirit, this one will speak directly to your emotional core. Michael wants you to understand that as December 13th approaches, your inner emotional landscape will begin shifting in ways that may surprise you. These changes are not random, not unstable, not signs of weakness. They are signs that heaven is rewiring the emotional architecture of your heart so you can carry the blessings that are about to enter your life. He begins by showing me a vision of your heart glowing faintly, as if it has been beating through dimness for far too long. Light is there, but it flickers through fatigue, old disappointments, forgotten dreams, and unhealed wounds. Michael says, "You have been strong for too many people, and yet you rarely receive the strength you give. Your heart has been a home for the broken, a shelter for the wounded, a comfort for the discouraged. But in the process, you learn to hide your own hurts behind silence. You learn to carry emotional burdens that were never meant to be yours. You learn to survive on empty because you kept pouring even when no one poured back into you. But now, he declares that heaven is restoring your emotional wholeness. After December 13th, the pieces of your heart that were scattered through years of pain will begin returning to you. The heaviness that sat in your chest like a stone will begin dissolving. You will feel emotions shifting inside you, not as chaos but as cleansing. There will be moments when you suddenly feel lighter, as if invisible weight has been lifted. There will be moments when you breathe differently, speak differently, and see yourself differently. This is emotional renewal, not emotional confusion. Michael explains that many of your past struggles lingered because your emotional body was out of alignment with your spiritual calling. You were trying to protect everyone else while leaving yourself exposed. You were trying to stay loyal to situations that no longer matched your growth. You were trying to carry people emotionally who were never meant to sit in the center of your heart. Heaven is correcting this imbalance. Your emotions will no longer be drained by unreciprocated relationships. Your compassion will no longer be misused. Your empathy will no longer be a doorway for manipulation. You are stepping into a season where your emotions work for you, not against you. He shows me another vision. You standing at the edge of a river, watching old emotional patterns float away, patterns of overthinking, patterns of overgiving, patterns of trying to prove your worth, patterns of apologizing for your own heart. The river is carrying them far from you because they have no place in the life you are stepping into. Michael says, your emotional cycle is resetting. The pain you once accepted as normal will no longer feel familiar. You will not connect with suffering the way you used to. You will not cling to sorrow the way you once did. This reset is not temporary. It is foundational. Then Michael speaks about joy, real joy, not the forced smile you give others so they believe you are fine. He says joy will begin returning to you in waves. You will laugh unexpectedly. You will feel excitement again. You will feel hope rising without being chased by fear. Even small moments will feel brighter. You will find yourself thanking God for things you once overlooked. This joy will not be fragile. It will not break easily. It will come from a place deep within you, built by healing, strengthened by grace, and protected by divine presence. Heaven also wants you to understand that emotional clarity is part of your blessing. After December 13th, you will begin seeing people as they truly are. The disguises will fall. The intentions will become obvious. The ones meant to walk with you will feel peaceful. The ones whose season has ended will feel distant. This clarity will prevent you from making emotional decisions based on guilt, nostalgia, or fear. You will no longer hold on to people out of obligation. You will hold on to peace instead. Michael then shifts the revelation. Your heart will begin trusting again. Not recklessly, not blindly, not foolishly, but from a place of healed wisdom. The fear of being betrayed again will loosen. The fear of loving again will soften. The fear of losing will no longer dominate your decisions. Heaven is strengthening your capacity to receive love, not just give it. Relationships will feel different because you will be different. You will no longer tolerate emotional imbalance. You will no longer settle for almost. Your heart will know what it deserves, and it will stop accepting what drains it. But the most profound emotional transformation is this: you will finally forgive yourself. Michael says you have carried guilt for mistakes you made when you were hurting. You have blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. You have punished yourself more harshly than anyone else ever did. Heaven is lifting that burden now. Grace is washing over your spirit. Compassion is returning to your own heart. You will no longer see yourself through the lens of your past, but through the lens of divine purpose. Before this part concludes, Michael gives a final whisper: protect your heart as you rise. For what is coming will require emotional stability, and heaven is giving you the strength you need. What unfolds next will reveal how your relationships will be restructured by the hand of God. You will want to stay close for what comes next, because the next revelation holds answers to relational shifts you have been sensing for months. Type "My heart is healing" in the comments if this speaks deeply to your spirit. Blessing code 4411 is activated for emotional restoration. If this message has touched you, like this video, share it to spread the divine warning, comment to stay connected, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven is releasing through this channel. As Archangel Michael heals the chambers of your heart and prepares you for December 13th, this channel continues to bring prophetic guidance to souls who desperately need spiritual clarity. When you release a seed through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling a divine assignment that rescues hearts, restores faith, and awakens purpose. The word says that those who sow into holy ground will see a harvest pressed down and running over, and today that promise is breathing over you. I speak to you now as the messenger of this revelation. Your act of support becomes a spiritual key that unlocks breakthrough for someone else. The urgency of this message echoes the urgency of this moment. Do not hold back what God has placed in your spirit to release. Step boldly, sow faithfully, and watch heaven respond with overflowing favor. Beloved soul, come closer now, for Archangel Michael moves into a revelation that touches one of the most sensitive and significant areas of your journey, your relationships. He says that as the shift of December 13th approaches, heaven is restructuring the connections in your life with precision, intention, and divine authority. This restructuring will not be random. It will not be chaotic. It will not be based on your emotions alone. It will be guided by purpose, destiny, and spiritual alignment. You have outgrown versions of yourself that once matched the people around you, and now heaven must adjust your relational circle so that it matches who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Michael begins by showing me a vision of you standing at the center of a circle. Around you are faces, some familiar, some fading, some approaching, and some watching from a distance. He says that every person in your life represents a spiritual assignment, either temporary or long-term. Many of the people connected to you served a purpose in your development, but they cannot walk with you into your elevation. Not because they are evil, not because they are unworthy, but because their season in your story is complete. Heaven moves people in and out of your life based on your growth, and your growth has now reached a point where the shift must begin. Heaven reveals that certain people will distance themselves without conflict. They will simply drift. Their energy will no longer resonate with yours. Conversations will feel forced. Communication will slow. Encounters will feel different. This distance is not rejection. It is divine release. It is heaven removing weights that would slow you down. Archangel Michael says, let the drifting happen. Do not chase what God is trying to separate. Do not cling to what your spirit is outgrowing. Your destiny will not allow old attachments to interfere with new blessings. He also shows me that some relationships will experience sudden clarity. You will begin seeing their true intentions without trying. Masks will fall. Hidden motives will surface. People who smiled in your presence but carried envy in their hearts will reveal themselves through small actions, subtle comments, or unexpected behavior. This exposure is protection. Heaven is illuminating the people who cannot be trusted with your breakthrough. Michael says, your rising will reveal the hearts of those around you. Pay attention. Do not ignore what is shown to you. Yet, there is another side to this restructuring. Archangel Michael reveals that new connections are being prepared to enter your life, connections aligned with your calling, your healing, and your elevation. These people will feel familiar even if you have never met them before. They will speak life into you, not confusion. They will bring clarity, not chaos. They will support your growth, not resent it. He says, heaven is sending those who match your future, not your past. These divine connections will feel effortless, peaceful, and purpose-driven. They are part of the next chapter heaven has written for you. Michael also speaks about relationships that will be restored. Not every connection from your past is meant to be cut away. Some are meant to be redeemed. There are people who misunderstood you, people who judged you during a season of pain, people who were distant because they did not know how to love you correctly at the time. Heaven will soften hearts. Truth will rise between you and them. Understanding will replace confusion. These relationships will re-enter your life in healed form, ready to align with your elevation rather than hinder it. Restoration is coming where restoration is deserved. But the most powerful relational shift is the strengthening of your boundaries. Michael says that for too long, you have allowed your heart to be accessible to those who did not handle it with care. You forgave too easily. You trusted too quickly. You tolerated disrespect because you believed in the goodness of others more than they believed in the goodness of themselves. Heaven is now adjusting your boundaries so that your generosity is protected rather than exploited. After December 13th, you will feel a new firmness within your spirit. You will say no without guilt. You will walk away without hesitation. You will stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. This strength is not hardness, it is wisdom. Heaven also reveals that one specific relationship in your life will undergo a dramatic shift. This could be a romantic connection, a family bond, or a friendship that has been in limbo. The uncertainty surrounding this connection will dissolve. The truth, whether painful or liberating, will come forward. Michael says, what is unclear will become clear. What is unsable will become sable. What is misaligned will be removed. This shift will bring emotional clarity you have needed for a long time. As this message deepens, Archangel Michael wants you to prepare for something many people never expect, the arrival of a divinely appointed relationship. Whether romantic, spiritual, or purpose-driven, a connection designed by heaven will cross your path. This person will not drain you. They will elevate you. They will not confuse you. They will understand you. They will not pull you backward. They will walk beside you into your future. Heaven is aligning the timeline so that this connection enters your life at the moment when your heart is ready and your spirit is steady. Before this revelation closes, Michael whispers, do not fear relational changes. These shifts are making space for what heaven has planned. You are not losing people, you are gaining alignment. And the next part will reveal how these shifts open the door to your spiritual gifts awakening with full strength. Hold steady, beloved. The next revelation will open your eyes to a dimension of your purpose you have never fully seen before. Type I trust God with my connections in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 6677 is now activated over your relationships. If this message is speaking to you deeply, Like this video, share it so others can receive it, comment to keep this divine flow moving, and subscribe as we continue this prophetic journey together. Support message variation 2 included in part 8 only. No support message here in part 9. Beloved, draw your spirit into stillness now, for Archangel Michael is ready to reveal a sacred dimension of this divine unfolding, your spiritual gifts. He says that the shift coming on December 13th is not simply a moment of blessing or emotional restoration. It is an awakening, a spiritual activation, a release of abilities that have always existed within you but were dormant, waiting for the right time, the right alignment, and the right spiritual maturity to emerge. Heaven does not elevate your life without elevating your spiritual capacity, and this season marks the beginning of your deeper awakening. Michael begins by showing me a vision of your inner light, once faint, dimmed by heartbreak, exhaustion, confusion, and battle-worn seasons. Now that light is growing, expanding, strengthening, and pulses with purpose. He says, your spirit has reached a point of readiness. What heaven placed in you long ago can finally rise. For too long you believed you were ordinary. For too long, you doubted your intuition. For too long, you silenced your inner knowing because others did not understand it. But heaven saw what you carried, and now heaven intends to reveal it. He explains that one of your strongest spiritual gifts is discernment. This is why you can sense the truth even when no one speaks it. This is why people's energy affects you before their words do. This is why certain environments drain you and others strengthen you. You have always felt things others cannot feel. You have always noticed what others overlook. You have always known when something was not right, even without evidence. This discernment will sharpen dramatically after December 13th. It will become so clear that you will be able to separate truth from illusion in moments. You will no longer doubt your inner voice, because heaven will confirm it repeatedly. Another gift being activated is your spiritual intuition, your ability to sense divine guidance. You will notice signs appearing more frequently. Dreams will become clearer, more symbolic, more directional. You will wake up with answers you did not have the night before. You will feel nudges from the divine telling you when to move, when to pause, when to speak, and when to remain silent. Michael says, your intuition is not imagination. It is instruction. This gift will guide you into opportunities that are meant for you while protecting you from paths that would have harmed you. Michael then reveals a gift long overlooked, the gift of emotional empathy. This is not weakness. This is spiritual intelligence. You feel deeply because heaven needs you to understand people beyond their words. You can sense sadness behind a smile, fear behind anger, and truth behind silence. Your empathy is a healing gift. It allows you to comfort others, uplift them, and speak to their hearts without being prompted. After December 13th, this gift will become more refined. You will no longer absorb emotions that do not belong to you. Instead, you will interpret them with clarity and respond with strength. But the most powerful gift being awakened is your ability to manifest spiritually aligned outcomes through intention and faith. You have prayed for things before and seen them happen, even when you doubted your worth. You have spoken desires into the atmosphere and watched them unfold. You have imagined better seasons and felt them draw closer. This ability was not luck. It was the framework of a spiritual gift that is now maturing. After December 13th, your words will carry greater power. Your prayers will have sharper impact. Your declarations will shift atmospheres. Heaven is increasing your authority in the unseen realm. Michael also shows me that you carry the rare gift of spiritual resilience. Many people collapse under the pressure you endured. Many lose themselves when storms rage for too long. But you, though wounded, though tired, though shaken, continued standing. This is not normal strength. This is divine strength. This resilience is why heaven trusts you with greater assignments. It is why the enemy tried so hard to break you. He knew your calling before you fully recognized it. He knew your impact before you stepped into it. He knew the moment your gifts activated, you would become a threat to darkness. That is why your battles were so intense. They were designed to stop an awakening that is now unstoppable. Michael reveals that as your gifts rise, you will begin noticing shifts in your interactions. Conversations will feel different. People will come to you for guidance without understanding why. Some will feel intimidated by your growth. Others will feel inspired. Your presence will carry a new level of clarity and spiritual weight. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. Heaven is positioning you as a light bearer, a voice of calm, a source of divine insight in a world filled with confusion. But there is something more profound. You will begin to hear God more clearly, not through external signs alone, but through inner peace, inner conviction, and inner knowing. You will feel the divine speaking directly to your heart in moments you least expect. The confusion that once clouded your spiritual walk will lift. The questions that haunted you will find answers. The direction you prayed for will reveal itself step by step. Michael says, your connection to heaven is strengthening. Speak, and heaven will answer. Listen, and heaven will guide. Before this message closes, he whispers a final truth. Your spiritual gifts are not awakening to impress others. They are awakening to prepare you for your purpose. What heaven will call you to do in the coming season requires spiritual sensitivity, emotional intelligence, and divine authority. You are being equipped. You are being elevated. You are being made ready. And the next revelation will reveal the breakthrough that your gifts will lead you into. Breakthrough that will touch every corner of your life. Hold on, beloved. The next words will show you why your entire journey has been preparing you for this very moment. Type "My gifts are awakening" in the comments if this message speaks to your soul. Blessing code 9910 is activated for spiritual awakening. Beloved, steady your spirit, for Archangel Michael now brings a revelation that touches the very core of why this divine message has been unfolding piece by piece. He says that everything you have walked through, every storm, every silent night, every unexpected setback, every moment you question your worth, has been leading to a single turning point. This is the breakthrough season your spirit has been sensing but could not yet name. December 30th marks the moment when the weight of your past gives way to the momentum of your future. What is coming toward you is not small. It is not delayed. It is not partial. It is complete. It is the breakthrough ordained before you even knew you needed one. Michael begins by showing me a vision of a great door, tall, ancient, carved with symbols of victory, restoration, and divine promise. For years, this door has been closed, not because you were unworthy, not because heaven forgot you, but because the timing was not aligned. Your spirit was still being shaped. Your resilience was still being molded. Your wisdom was still being forged in the fire. Now that door begins to tremble. Light leaks through the cracks. Something on the other side is pressing forward, waiting for heaven's command to be released. This is your breakthrough. He explains that your breakthrough will not come gently. It will arrive the way dawn breaks the darkness, suddenly, undeniably, and with force. One moment you will feel like you are still waiting, and the next, everything will shift. He says that breakthroughs do not always whisper. Sometimes they crash into your life like a wave that has been building quietly in the distance. Heaven has been building yours. And the moment December 13th arrives in the spiritual realm, the wave will reach you. One of the greatest breakthroughs coming is clarity. For too long, confusion has clouded your decisions. Uncertainty has made you doubt your steps. You questioned whether you were moving in the right direction, trusting the right voices, following the right signs. But clarity is coming in a way that removes the fog completely. Your next steps will not feel forced. They will feel guided. Answers will come without struggle. Decisions will feel natural. You will no longer wrestle with hesitation. Heaven is breaking the spirit of confusion off your life. Another breakthrough is financial elevation. Michael shows me chains around resources connected to you. Chains created by setbacks, delays, unexpected losses, or cycles that repeated longer than they should have. Heaven is breaking these chains. He says, what had been withheld will be released. What has been slowed will accelerate. What has been closed will open. Financial doors that were once locked will swing wide. Opportunities you thought were lost will return. New streams of provision will appear in unexpected places. Heaven is restructuring your financial path because your purpose requires freedom, not limitation. He also reveals that emotional relief will be part of your breakthrough. There are burdens you have carried so long that you forgot they were heavy. There are wounds buried so deep that you stopped noticing the pain. But heaven is not forgotten. December 13th brings the breaking of emotional cycles that once controlled you. You will feel lighter, freer, more centered. You will notice that the tears you used to cry quietly in moments of exhaustion no longer come. You will feel a sense of release that is gentle yet powerful, as if heaven itself placed a hand on your heart and lifted the weight from it. Heaven also speaks of breakthrough in relationships. Connections that were stagnant will begin to move. People who drifted from your life may return with softened hearts. Others will exit quietly because their season has ended. And someone significant, whether a partner, friend, mentor, or guide, will enter at the perfect moment, lined with your healing rather than your hurt. Michael says, your connections are being purified so that your relationships can finally align with your destiny. There is also breakthrough in your identity. For years, you have been walking with a version of yourself shaped by fear, by trauma, by survival, by painful chapters that no longer reflect who you truly are. Heaven is breaking the identity you inherited from your wounds and restoring the identity you were born with. You will begin to feel worthy without needing validation. You will trust your voice without needing permission. You will recognize your own power without waiting to be told. This identity breakthrough is one of the greatest transformations you will experience. But the breakthrough that Michael emphasizes most is spiritual empowerment. He says your spirit will rise with a strength you have never felt before. Prayer will feel different. Worship will feel different. Silence will feel different. You will connect to heaven with ease, without forcing, without straining, without questioning. You will hear God more clearly, sense divine nudges more quickly, and feel protected more intensely. Heaven is giving you spiritual authority, authority over fear, over doubt, over cycles, over anything that once stole your peace. Michael whispers, breakthrough is not coming to visit you. It is coming to establish itself in your life. This means your breakthrough will not be a temporary moment that fades when circumstances shift. It will be a new normal, a new rhythm, a new spiritual atmosphere. And he says something profound. When breakthrough arrives, your life will feel unfamiliar at first, not because it is wrong, but because peace is something you are not used to receiving consistently. Before this section closes, he gives you a final glimpse. Your future self, confident, centered, peaceful, grounded in purpose, surrounded by divine favor. This is who heaven is ushering you into becoming. And the next revelation will explain how to step into this breakthrough without fear or hesitation. Stay close now. What comes next will teach your spirit how to walk fully into the life heaven is placing before you. Type "I receive my breakthrough" in the comments if this message reaches your spirit. Blessing code 3007 is activated over your life. Beloved, breathe deeply now, for Archangel Michael is ready to deliver the final and most powerful revelation of this entire prophetic message. Everything until this point has been preparing you, guiding you through spiritual awakening, emotional restoration, relational restructuring, and the unfolding of your divine breakthrough. But now heaven speaks directly to your path forward. This last revelation is not merely insight. It is instruction. It is the blueprint for how you must walk into the life that is waiting for you after December 13th. Michael says, the shift is guaranteed, but how you step into it determines how fully you receive it. Heaven has already set the stage. Now your spirit must move in alignment. He begins by showing me a vision of you standing at the threshold of a new season. Behind you are fragments of your old life, things you have outgrown, people who no longer resonate, battles that no longer belong to you, fears that once controlled you. Ahead of you is a horizon so bright that your eyes must adjust to its radiance. This brightness represents opportunity, renewal, and the divine future heaven has prepared. But Michael says something profound. Your next chapter cannot be entered with the same posture you carried through your last one. He explains that the first instruction for entering your breakthrough is surrender. Not the surrender that comes from defeat, but the surrender that comes from trust. Trust that the path ahead is safe. Trust that heaven is leading you. Trust that the changes coming are for your good even if they feel unfamiliar. Surrender does not mean letting go of responsibility. It means letting go of fear. It means allowing God to guide you without resisting, without questioning, without clinging to the comfort of what no longer serves you. Michael says, the blessings coming to you require space. Make room by releasing what heaven has already removed. The second instruction is presence. For too long, you have lived between the past and the future, remembering what hurt you while trying to imagine what could heal you. Michael says your spirit must come into the present moment. The shift on December 30th requires your awareness. You cannot sleepwalk into your elevation. Be alert. Be awake. Be grounded. Notice the signs. Listen to your intuition. Pay attention to the changes happening around you. Heaven will guide you step by step, but you must be present enough to hear the guidance. The third instruction is courage. Not the absence of fear, but the decision to move despite it. There will be moments after this divine shift where opportunities arrive that seem too big for you, too sudden, too unfamiliar. Michael says, say yes anyway. Heaven does not place doors in front of you unless you are ready to walk through them. Do not shrink yourself. Do not doubt your worth. Do not assume you are unqualified. What is coming is not outside your capability. It is outside your comfort, and that is where growth happens. The fourth instruction is protection of your atmosphere. Your elevation must be guarded. Not everyone can speak into your life. Not every voice carries truth. Not every presence carries purity. Michael says, choose your circle with discernment. Some people will celebrate your breakthrough. Others will envy it. Some will feel inspired by your rise. Others will feel intimidated. Protect your peace. Protect your energy. Protect your home. Peace is part of your promise. Do not give it away lightly. The fifth instruction is gratitude. Heaven responds to gratitude with acceleration. When you recognize the small signs of change, the larger manifestations come faster. Michael says, gratitude multiplies what you honor. Even on days when the shift is still forming, thank God for what is coming. Thank Him for what is aligning. Thank Him for the growth, for the protection, for the clarity, for the transformation. Gratitude prepares your spirit to receive. And finally, the sixth instruction. Step boldly into your identity. Everything you have learned in this message leads back to one truth. You are not who you used to be. The old self cannot carry the blessings of the new season. Walk with confidence. Speak with authority. Choose with wisdom. Trust your intuition. Honor your worth. You have been shaped, refined, and prepared. Heaven did not take you through storms so you could remain small. Michael says, you are rising now. Do not return to versions of yourself that no longer exist. As this final revelation reaches its close, Michael gives one last vision. You, standing tall, surrounded by light, your spirit calm, your path illuminated. This is your future. This is your alignment. This is your moment. Heaven declares that the message delivered to you was not by accident. It was a divine appointment. What happens after December 13th will confirm everything you have heard. And before this final section ends, Archangel Michael whispers the last words of this prophetic message. Do not fear the change. You were born for it. Type I walk into my NEW season in the comments if your spirit receives this. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your entire future. Now, beloved, before this prophetic journey concludes, hear this final support message, woven into the very theme of this revelation. Just as you stand at the threshold of a divinely orchestrated new season, this mission also stands on sacred ground, lifting souls, awakening destinies, and carrying God's warnings into homes around the world. When you sow into this work through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are strengthening a calling that exists to guide hearts like yours into breakthrough. The same God who is preparing your December 13th shift is using this space as a vessel of light in a dark world. I speak over you now. Every seed you release becomes a prophetic act, opening heavenly doors and drawing protection, favor, and provision into your life. This moment carries urgency because your giving becomes part of the spiritual alignment unfolding right now. Step boldly, so faithfully. Heaven commands, and blessing follows obedience.